Om Sai Ram. Shri Sai Satcharitra, Chapter 1, Obeisances, the story of grinding wheat and its philosophical significance. According to the ancient and revered custom, Hemanpan begins the work of Shri Sai Satcharitra with various salutations. First, he makes obeisance to God Ganesh to remove all the obstacles and make the work a success, and says that Shri Sai is the god Ganesh. Then to the goddess Saraswati to inspire him to write the work, and says that Shri Sai is one with this goddess and that he is himself singing his own life. Then to the gods Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar, the creating, preserving and destroying deities respectively, and says that Sainath is one with them, and he, the great teacher, will carry us across the river of worldly existence. Then to the tutelary deity Narayana Adinath, who manifested himself in Konkan, the land reclaimed by Parashurama from the sea, and to the Adi Purusha of the family. Then to Bharadwaja Muni, in whose Gotra he was born, and also to the various rishis, Yagnayalkas, Bhrigu, Parashara, Narada, Vedavyasa, Sanak, Sanananda, Sanat Kumara, Sukha, Shaunaka, Vishwamitra, Vashishta, Valmiki, Vamadeva, Jaimini, Vaishampayan, Navayogendra, etc., and also to the modern saints such as Navritti, Dhyandev, Sopan, Muktabai, Janardhan, Eknath, Namdev, Tukaram, Kanha, and Narhari, etc. Then to his grandfather Sadashiv, father Raghunath, and his mother who left him in his infancy, to his paternal aunt who brought him up, and to his loving elder brother. Then to the readers and praise to give their whole and undivided attention to his work. And lastly to his Guru Shri Sai Natha, an incarnation of Sri Dattatreya, who is his sole refuge and who will make him realize that Brahman is reality and that world is an illusion, and incidentally to all the beings in whom the Lord dwells. After describing in brief the various modes of devotion according to Parashara, Vyasa and Sandilya, etc., the author goes on to relate the following story. It was sometime in 1910 that I went one fine morning to the masjid in Shirdi for having a darshan of Sai Baba. I was wonderstruck to see the following phenomenon. After washing his mouth and face, Sai Baba began to make preparations of grinding wheat. He spread the sack on the floor and thereon set a hand mill. He took some quantity of wheat in the winnowing fan, and then drawing up the sleeves of his kafni and taking hold of the peg of the hand mill, started grinding the wheat by putting a few handful of wheat in the upper grinding opening of the mill and rotated it. And I thought what business Baba had with grinding of the wheat, and when he possessed nothing and stored nothing, and that he lived on alms. Some people who had come there thought likewise, but none had the courage to ask Baba what he was doing. Immediately, this news of Baba's grinding wheat spread into the village, and at once men and women ran to the masjid and flocked there to see Baba's act. 4 bold women from the crowd forced their way up, pushing Baba aside, took forcibly the peg or the handle of the into their hands, and singing Baba's Leela started grinding. At first Baba was enraged, but on seeing the women's love and devotion, he was pleased and began to smile. While they were grinding, they began to think that Baba had no house, no property, no children, none to look after, and he lived on alms, and therefore he did not require any wheat flour for making bread or roti. What will he do with this big quantity of flour? Perhaps as Baba is very kind, he will distribute the flour amongst us. Thinking in this way, and while singing, they finished the grinding. And after pulling the hand mill aside, they divided the flour into 4 portions and began to remove them by taking 1 portion per head. Baba, who was calm and quiet till now, got wild and started abusing them, saying, "Ladies, have you gone mad? Whose father's property are you looting away? Have I borrowed any wheat from you so that you can safely take the flour? Now do this. Take the flour and throw it on the village borders." On hearing this, the women felt abashed and, whispering amongst themselves, went to the outskirts of the village and spread the flour as directed by Baba. I asked the Shirdi people, "What was this that Baba did?" They replied that as the cholera epidemic was spreading in the village, this was Baba's remedy against same. And it was not wheat that was ground, but cholera itself was ground to pieces and pushed out of the village. From this time onward, the cholera epidemic subsided and the people of the village were very happy. I was much pleased to know all this, but at the same time my curiosity was aroused. I began to ask myself what earthly connection was there between the wheat flour and the cholera. What was the causal relation between the two and how to reconcile them? The incident seems to be inexplicable. I should write something on this and sing to my heart's content Baba's sweet Leelas. Thinking in this way about this Leela, my heart was filled with joy, and I was thus inspired to write Baba's life, the Sai Satcharitra. As we know, with Baba's grace and blessings, this work was successfully accomplished. Philosophical significance of grinding. Apart from the meaning which the people of the Shirdi put on to this incident of grinding wheat, there is, we think, a philosophical significance too. Baba lived in Shirdi for 60 years, and during this long period, he did the business of grinding almost every day. Not, however, wheat alone, but the sins, the mental and physical afflictions and miseries of his innumerable devotees. The two stones of his mill consisted of karma and bhakti, the former being the lower one and the latter the upper one. The handle with which Baba worked the mill consisted of dhyana. It was the firm conviction of Baba that knowledge or self-realization is not possible unless there is the prior act of grinding of all the impulses, desires, sins, and of the three gunas. Sattva, Rajasa, Tamasa, and the Ahankara, which is so subtle and therefore so difficult to get rid of. This reminds us of a similar story of Kabir, who, on seeing a woman grinding corn, said to his guru Nipartinanjan, "I am weeping because I feel the agony of being crushed under the wheel of worldly existence, like the corn in the handmill." Nipartinanjan replied, "Do not be afraid. Hold fast to the handle of knowledge of this mill, as I do, and do not wander far away from the same, but turn inward to the center, and you are sure to be saved." Bow to Shri Sai, peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.